May I request Shri Ravi Saxena ji to give the inaugural address.
हमारे लिए गौरव की बात है कि ऐसे विद्वान व्यक्ति आज इस नैनो मिशन की जो चर्चा हो रही है उसकी शुरुआत के लिए यहाँ उपस्थित हुए। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि आज आप सब लोग यहाँ आ सके। मैंने अग्रवाल जी को गौर से सुना, मनोचा जी को सुना। हमें गर्व है, अग्रवाल जी गुजरात को उपलब्ध हैं, उन पर भी एक विजन है। वैसे मनोचा जी ने कहा कि टेक्नोलॉजी का पेस होता है और उन्होंने दिखाया कि अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजीज़ किस स्पीड से आगे बढ़ी। उसमें 2085 होना चाहिए नैनो के लिए, लेकिन मुझे तो लगता है ये जिंक्स टेक्नोलॉजी, क्योंकि वैसे तो फाइनमैन ने तो 1959 में काफ़ी कुछ बता दिया था और उसके बाद फिर 1959 से कुछ नहीं हुआ। मैंने 40 साल पहले, जैसे मैंने बताया, बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी के फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट से मैं निकला। 40 साल हो गए, 1971 टू बी प्रिसाइज, जुलाई। एक साल थोड़ी रिसर्च की, बतौर रिसर्च हाथ पैर मारे, कुछ आगे बढ़ा नहीं, क्योंकि एक्सपेरिमेंटल था। मेरा यही सब्जेक्ट था उस जमाने में, चलाता था एक्सरे क्रिस्टलोग्राफी, मटेरियल साइंस समझिए। BHU में इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप था, ट्रांसमिशन इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप था, पार्टिकल एक्सेलरेटर था, हैंडीक्राफ्ट जनरेटर। हमारा एक अच्छा डिपार्टमेंट माना जा सकता है। विद्वान हमारे गुरु थे, डॉक्टर वेन श्रीवास्तव अपनी मटेरियल साइंस में काफ़ी आगे पहुँचे। डॉक्टर गोविंद स्वरूप, ये दोनों मेरे गुरु थे। और थियोरेटिकल साइंस में डॉक्टर विशेश्वर दयाल, तो उनका अपना मॉडल ऑफ स्पेसिफिक यूज था। तो ये न्यूक्लियर में डॉक्टर सूद थे, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में डॉक्टर तांत्री, सब महान। लेकिन हम लोग उस समय वो डिफ्रैक्शन, एक्सरे डिफ्रैक्शन फोटोग्राफ्स को एनालाइज करते थे, कुछ डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशंस के लिए थोड़ा बहुत डालते थे। और फाइनमैन, ड्रेक्सेल, फैराडे, इन सब का इतना सब कुछ चर्चा होने के बाद भी 1971 में मुझे किसी ने ये नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी का शब्द बताया ना, मुझे कभी सुना मैंने कि नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी क्या होती है। वैसे देखें तो बॉडी में तो नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी, नेचर में तो नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी मॉलिक्यूलर फैक्ट्री है। Body moves through the molecular factory that we are trying to replicate now. पर वो विचार कि अगर बॉडी चल सकती है, और बॉडी के बारे में कितनी रिसर्च हुई, और उस बॉडी को रेप्लिकेट करने के लिए साइंस ने बहुत जहमत आज शुरुआत से की है। उसके पहले कहीं मैंने पढ़ा कि भाई हिंदुस्तान में ये विद्या अशोका मौर्य के समय की थी, और वो बात की किसी ने, वो डेमास्कस स्वॉर्ड की, आपने सुना, डेमास्कस स्वॉर्ड which had a unique cutting edge which would not get blunted or affected even if it had to hit on a stone. And then somewhere somebody looked at the edge structure through scanning electron microscope, came to the conclusion that there were nanotubes, carbon nanotubes on the edge, and which the steel was, for this Damascus sword, was obtained. It's called Woods steel, obtained from India in 300 BC, which means मौर्य का टाइम। उस समय इंडिया में टेक्नोलॉजी थी कि आप एज पे स्टील के कार्बन नैनोट्यूब्स जनरेट कर दें। ये सब होते हुए मनोजा साहब बहुत टाइम लग गया, 2085 हो सकता है, होना चाहिए नहीं। तो मतलब, और एक्टिव साइंटिफिक रिसर्च में, जैसे मैं कह रहा हूँ कि हमारी लेबोरेटरी में सब कुछ होते हुए भी ट्रांसमिशन इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप से स्कैनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप तक जाने की जरूरत नहीं। कितना वक्त लगा, क्योंकि अब मैं अपनी फीलिंग बोलूं तो इट इज नोबडीज बेबी। और प्रश्न ये नहीं है, प्रश्न ये नहीं है कि हमारे यहाँ रिसर्च करने की कुव्वत है कि नहीं है। प्रश्न है कि हम एज इंडियंस आर वी इन अ पोजिशन टू क्रिएट एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर इनोवेशन। When I say organization for innovation, it should include the complete ecosystem, right from the national mission down to universities, laboratories, research laboratories. And as Dr. Akshay Agrawal pointed out very well, and Dr. C.N.R. Rao quoted, it's not something where you can have a bachelor of nanotechnology. It is not possible. And this problem of reaching areas of excellence in domains which are multidisciplinary in nature, this is where we have huge issue of creating an organization. अब इसका एक आपको एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ किसी और फील्ड में। देखिए हेल्थ में, when a trauma accident takes place, the life and death depends on the first hour which is called the golden hour. Now this golden hour actually requires a multidisciplinary approach to be focused on that person. So when I was health secretary, I tried to create a department of emergency medicine, a specialization for dealing with a person who meets with an accident and to deal with that golden hour, that first hour. So you have the 108 which should take him. 108 should be advanced support ambulance with defibrillator and oxygen and many other things. And then what happens is that this department requires an orthopedician, it requires a physician, it requires a surgeon, it requires an ophthalmologist, so it requires basically residents from 5-6 departments. And there I got the experience of how it is possible or impossible to create a department with people who have graduated from 6 departments to come and join one department and where you want to create excellence. The issues of who's going to administer those people. Everybody has his vertical loyalties, and the head of the Department of Emergency Medicine is a brigadier without a soldier who's going to obey. So this is the thing which comes to my mind when it comes to a thing like nanotechnology, because nanotechnology cannot be in the area of textile or engineering or biotechnology or chemistry or medicine alone. It is a wide pervasive, it is there everywhere. As a matter of fact, when you have molecular factories in your body, which basically means the whole universe has to get into a paradigm of nanotechnology. That paradigm to be created through an organization, through excellence, is something which is a very big challenge to people across the board, but more so in India. Also in India because we are Indians. Or what happens when we are Indians is the experience I gained when I handled 30,000 scientists in the Department of Atomic Energy. It was a large cadre. I was supposed to be director cadre, working directly with the chairman, 3 successive chairmen. Dr. Chidambaram, Dr. P. K. Angar, late Dr. P. K. Angar, Dr. Srinivas. And I found that the biggest headache for the Chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission is not the nuclear issues, the issues of his establishment. And his major part of the day would be spent on dealing with the issues of establishment rather than the technologies of for advancement of nuclear science. So that we all know, the people who are sitting here, they all understand, and the challenge is to all of us as to how to develop synergy amongst different. क्या डॉक्टर एनस को हमारे यहाँ एक साइलोसिस की भी है, सब साइलोस में हिंदुस्तान की जो रिसर्च लैबोरेटरीज है, DSIR and other departments. Every department has huge laboratories. It's the largest government system in the world of research. If you take all laboratories, but still I was telling Dr. Agrawal कि भाई वो laboratories की बात छोड़िए, नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए universities की तरफ देखिए. Universities में कुछ हो सकता है उन laboratories में, because it's a multidisciplinary thing. It has to be there in each laboratory. Nanotechnology, advanced Advanced research in the area of nanotechnology has to be there in each of these, whether it's Geological Research Institute, or Ceramic Research Institute, or Textile Research Institute, or Agricultural Research Institute, or any medical research institute. The nanotechnology has to be there everywhere. So who provides the manpower duly trained to each of them, and see that their royalties for the purposes of achievements remain with the director of that research institute. At that level of scientist G, H, and OS, you need all of these in each of them for leading innovation in each of these sectors. So this is the challenge, and we as grown-up people should be able to meet with this challenge. And we should at least be able to identify and acknowledge this challenge. And I was requesting Dr. Agarwal that today, when we have so many eminent people here, maybe we could, like most of you would be knowing, the knowledge cities. I went to this Taiwan's, this science park, Hsinchu. I spoke about it earlier. There is one laboratory, ITRI, which has 5 patents a day, 1,500 patents in a year. And the frontier areas of innovation are coming out of that laboratory in the world, for the world, in electronics. We can look at some of these knowledge cities. We can see how do they, of course, the point you mentioned to me when we were chatting about incentive-based remuneration to the research scientist also would require de-categorization of scientists. आप de-categorization of scientists करके और फिर उनको incentive-based करिए, basic research industry क्यों नहीं करेगी? अगर industry के turnovers हैं ऐसे और वो होने वाला है उनको उतना अगर impact of nanotechnology is going to be like that. If it can be a multiplier by dozens in the turnovers of industry. It's just that we need to bring all of them in tandem in one stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting further time for the kind of deliberations that are going to take place hereafter, and which I'm very excited about, I hope by the evening you are able to give us some light. The whole idea of bringing people on this platform, attempting to create a nano mission in Gujarat, and this nano mission should it should be just a round table. It should just be a platform for getting all of them together and getting conclusions. No new organization, but bringing universities research, laboratories research, industry, and different areas of growth and development, and also government. Actually, when I am talking about research organizations, I would spare government also, because the government's hierarchy and the bureaucracy to which I belong is also no less kind of vertical to be blamed for creating whatever has got created. But can't we come out of this legacy? Can't we create an ecosystem of innovation? Can we have courage now amongst the leaders of this technology who have got fire in their belly to see that India must come into the come and occupy the stage where frontiers of technology are now mastered by this country and are shown to the world by this country. And with that, I hope the deliberations of this day's seminar give us conclusions which are feasible, implementable, and I also would like to have your continued support for the proposed nano mission and the actions that we will be in a position to take with your support at the end of the day. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to do it. Thank you.